Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and these are the manga and manhwa releases for the second half of November. Gonna start with the Kodansha releases. Suzume Volume 2. High school junior Suzume runs into a handsome stranger, Sota, who tells her he is looking for a door and asks where he can find ruins in her town. She points him toward a resort that has long fallen past all hope of repair, thinks better of it, and races after him to warn him of the danger of trespassing there. While searching for Sota, Suzume opens a door seemingly to nowhere and finds a starry landscape stretch out on the other side of the frame. Later at school, she realizes she's the only one who can see an ominous worm-like colossus emerge from the mountains, and rushes back to the ruins where she finds Sota struggling to shut the monster back in the door. Volume 21, To Your Eternity. In the distant future, Kaibara Cybernetics has the technology to make almost any wish a reality. They use this technology as leverage to keep the populace in line through a star rating system that punishes antisocial behaviour, but the immortals are still beyond Kaibara's reach. Vampire Dormitory Volume 12. As part of her training to become a proper bride and a full-fledged vampire, Mito is cross-dressing once more to attend a school with demi-humans like werewolves, zombies, and demons. She faces a daily battle with her overwhelming desire to drink blood, but it turns out that her classmates might be more dangerous to her than she is to them. Eden Zero Volume 30. The Demon King's 4 Dark Stars have once again managed to infiltrate the Eden Zero. With the ship locked down and a self-destruct sequence initiated, the Shining Stars fight their counterparts while Shiki makes a beeline for Eden's 1 to confront Void. But where is Void? Ninja vs Gokudo Volume 4. Baseball star Heroine Omaga returns to the Yakuza, lured by dreams of his biker gang past. In a surprise play, he battles the shape-shifting ninja Zanzo Kazai, and it's a deadly home-run derby. Meanwhile, violence continues on the Teito Highway as the ninja valiantly keep fighting. A new series, Shimazaki in the Land of Peace. After surviving a terrorist incident as a child, Shingo Shimazaki was forced to join the League for Economic Liberation's Revolutionary Army. Now, 30 years later, he's back in Japan and trying to assimilate to a normal life. His Japanese may be awkward, and his grasp of ordinary tasks a little weak, but he has all the combat and surveillance training of a Green Beret. There are many kind-hearted souls who want to help him, and a few not-so-kind ones who will do anything to stop him. The Boy I Loved Became the Jaded Emperor Volume 2. While attending the consort selection ball, Eleonora finally met the man known far and wide as the Demon Emperor. While their initial meeting got off to a rocky start, it sparked something between them, and Eleonora finds herself invited back to the castle only days later. Much to her confusion, the man who appears before her now no longer seems like the Demon Emperor she met before, but what could have changed? Volume 20 of the Heroic Legend of Arslan. Thanks to Narcissus' scheming and Darian's daring, Arslan's compatriots stand on the precipice of victory, but Bodin's unforeseen arrival threatens to plunge the battle into chaos. The Crown Prince once again faces overwhelming odds in his fight to reclaim the royal capital. Can he rise to the occasion? A Business Proposal, Volume 7. This is a Yen Press release, and the new executive is the talk of the office. She's capable, beautiful, and she used to date Teimu. When Harry learns that the new executive has quite the history with her boyfriend, she's thrown into panic and insecurity. Agents of the Four Seasons Dance of Spring Volume 1. This is a manga adaptation of the light novel series. So at first there was only winter, but this lonely existence was too much for them to bear, so winter split off part of themselves to bring forth spring. But the earth wished for summer, and autumn as well, and with their creation marked the birth of the Four Seasons. The changing of seasons became the duty that fell upon humanity, and those tasked with the transition are known as Agents of the Four Seasons. This is the bittersweet story of Hinagiku and Sakura, Agent of Spring, and her devoted bodyguard who set out on a journey to bring in Yamato's first spring in 10 long years. All or Nothing. The last thing Oka and Mao expected to find out at lunch was that their two friends were dating. The 4 boys were classmates, friends, and even neighbours in the dorms. The sudden revelation sparked something within Oka and Mao as they began noticing each other in new ways. but what started as playful curiosity quickly grows, and each moment the two spend together threatens to bring them closer than they've ever been before. Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's conjecture. University student Naoya Fukamachi has the ability to detect lies. He finds himself working for his eccentric Associate Professor of Folklore Studies, Akira Takatsuki, to investigate the supernatural. The two head to the sea in this one following reports of mermaid sightings. Then, one summer evening, they find themselves tumbling into the candlelit horror of the Night of 100 Ghost Stories. Bride of the Barrier Master, Volume 3. Hana's marriage of convenience to Saku was supposed to be temporary, but she finds herself thinking about him more and more. But as she wonders about this, a string of thefts have been happening, and the targets are all spelled talismans. A new series, Brunhild the Dragon Slayer. Eden is a place of perfection, protected from outside harm by the Silver Dragon. In this idyllic land, the dragon raises a human girl found on the island's shores as his own. But when the dragon's life is mercilessly snuffed out by human machinations, the girl must choose whether to heed his dying wish and stay the course of righteousness or walk a path of vengeance. I love this cover. I think it is absolutely beautiful. The way the red stands out against the grey, it's perfect. Bungo Stray Dogs Official Comic Anthology Volume 2. The cast of Bungo Stray Dogs returns in this second volume of the comic anthology of this supernatural action series. With an all-new lineup of guest authors, this premium collection features lots of side stories following the armed detective agency, the Port Mafia, and the Guild. Candy Show Harusono Art Collection. This is an amalgamation of illustrations, rough sketches, exclusive bonus manga, and an interview with the series creator of Sasaki and Miyano and Hirano and Kagiura. Cheeky Brat Volume 12. With Naruse telling everyone about him and Yuki, she's not entirely sure how to react around everyone else anymore. Volume 6 of cross-dressing villainess Cecilia Sylvie. Cecilia Sylvie woke up as the villainess in a reverse harem dating sim world, which means she's been fated to a badder no matter what that is, if she keeps living as a girl. The only way to avoid becoming a holy maiden candidate and halt the death flags in their tracks is to live as a boy. In this one, they found the third holy maiden candidate, so now there's maybe possibly a chance that Cecilia can finally avoid the death flag that's been haunting her very existence. Dracula's on the Night Shift. Vampires who cannot be exposed to sunlight have been able to integrate into modern society by only going out at night. Yura Toraki is a vampire who works the graveyard shift at a convenience store. One day he happens to save a woman named Iris, who turns out to be a member of an order of vampire exterminators. Before he knows it, Yura is living in the same apartment as his should-be nemesis. I Cannot Reach You Volume 8. Kakeru and Yamato are still not quite used to the fact that they've gone from friends to boyfriends. After receiving an aquarium ticket from Fujino, who tells him to go with his girlfriend, Kakeru decides to invite Yamato on a fun excursion. But when the two bump into their friends on the way home, what will Kakeru say about their relationship? I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss Volume 4. Between trying to win the approval of in-laws and dealing with subordinate shenanigans, will Eileen and Claude finally reach their happily ever after? I think this may be the last volume of the series, but I'm not 100% sure. In the Land of Leedale Volume 6. When Kana reaches the fishing village where the rumour of a temple in the ocean originated, she's shocked to find the place in ruins, surrounded by a strange fog and inhabited by undead. Now she must protect the village's sole survivor, a young girl named Luca, while facing off against the cause of the fog. K-On! Shuffle Volume 2. The Pop Music Society keeps growing. As a new school year begins, the society's performance catches the attention of a couple of students. Will they be the latest recruits? A new series called Mono. The photography club is in danger of shutting down, as is the cinema club. The solution? Merge them to become the Cinephoto Club. Now club members Satsuki, Ann, and Sakurako are asked to be the main characters for manga artist Haruno's latest work that's centered around action cameras. The girls head out to capture the lovely sights of Japan, exploring gadgets around them and of course chomp on the local delicacies along the way. Another new series, Semantic Error. Computer science major Sang-woo values reason, routine and rules above all. So when the rest of his teammates fail to contribute to the group presentation, he doesn't hesitate to cut everyone's names from the project entirely, including design major Jae-young Jang, which ruins his plans to graduate and study abroad. Jae-young is more than happy to return the favour, and strives to be the biggest thorn in Sang-woo's side, but as they spend more time together, a strange attraction begins to develop between them. Will Sang-woo be able to debug this semantic error from his life? Solo Leveling Volume 10. Jinwoo and Ajin Guild have earned worldwide recognition and a spot at the International Guild Conference, but heading to America means crossing paths with Dong-soo Hwang, who has a bone to pick with Jinwoo about the death of his brother, and isn't above using Jinho as bait. The Abandoned Empress Volume 9. After 6 long years, Tia's goal of becoming an official knight finally comes true, and as an official knight, she now has the ability to make a blood oath to the Emperor, and in doing so surrender her right to the throne. Despite the Crown Prince's continued attempts to thaw her frozen heart, Tia is determined to free herself from the noble faction's schemes and the grim fate she's desperately tried to flee from. But that resolve is soon shaken when she finds Revelis in danger. Will Tia allow fate to shape her future, or will she finally take her destiny into her own hands? I love this series and I definitely recommend it. The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine Volume 3. Between aura training and running her booming potions business, and not to mention meeting and fighting alongside the male protagonist of the novel, it's finally time for Ailette to take a well-earned vacation. But it wouldn't be an S-Class difficulty world if there wasn't a dungeon nearby. The Star Seekers Volume 5. The Dragon Sect has finally shown their true colours as they make a move to capture Star 1. With no one else to turn to, the Boys of Destiny find themselves in an unlikely alliance. As they uncover the truth of the Dragon of the End and their destined duties, questions weigh heavily on their minds. Will they be the ones stopping the end of the world, or will they cause it? A new series called The Teen Exorcist. Set in Japan's Heian period, Masahiro serves as a royal diviner just like his grandfather, the legendary Abe no Seimei. His dream isn't to follow in his grandfather's footsteps though, it's to surpass him. During some intense training with his spirit companion, Masahiro notices an ominous presence targeting the princess. Can he protect the royal capital and escape from his grandfather's shadow? The Villainess Turns the Hourglass Volume 5. Arya's hard-earned reputation is now tarnished, and she must think of a plan quick to turn the tables on Miel. Using her wits along with Ash's help, Arya will try to unmask Miel's facade of nobility and benevolence. Meanwhile, as the Kingdom of Croa gets involved in the Empire's affairs, another shocking secret regarding Arya's identity is revealed. The War of Greedy Witches Volume 1. At the moment of her execution, the Holy Martyr of France, Jeanne d'Arc, is transported to a mysterious new world. There she comes face to face with 31 heroic women who carve their names into the annals of history as witches. Now, with the 32 witches assembled, the deadly tournament that pits its competitors against each other in the name of their selfish wishes is about to get underway. The World After the Fall Volume 8. All preparations are complete, and Jaewan's Abyss expedition finally sets out. At the gateway to the new realm, however, the group is met by an elite force from the Great Realm, sent to crush the upstarts once and for all. Tied to You Volume 3. Rusio and Jigian are stuck at an impasse, but when Rusio pushes an idea, worried of being a burden, a truth comes out. Jigian has serious feelings for Rusio. Realising they're both suffering the pain of a one-sided love, Rusio can't stop thinking about his partner, and Jisok, fed up with watching his brother and best friend dance around each other, decides to reveal another earth-shattering truth. Unholy Blood Volume 4. Hyan and Iyunte are on the hunt for the next Angel of Death, Ash, who they have almost no information on. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim Volume 6? One final obstacle looms between Youngjun and Miso's happily ever after, the meeting of the in-laws. Why Ray Liana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion Volume 8. Just when all hope to unearth Raeliana's memories seem lost, enter Iosa Ben. This dark priestess holds truths long since buried, and Raeliana is damned if she doesn't finally get answers. Oshinoko Volume 8. B Komachi is set to have their first music video and boost their YouTube channel. Aqua is also headed to a vacation with the cast of the 2.5D play, and it's near where Aqua and Ruby died in their previous lives. Oshinoko First Illustration Collection Glare X Sparkle. Mengo Yokoyari, artist of Oshinoko, has compiled her illustrations into this collection. The book features over 130 pieces, including full-colour works, character design drafts, drawings posted to social media, as well as comments and a discussion between Yokoyari and author Aka Akasaka. A Sinner of the Deep Sea Volume 2. Jo is willing to go to any length for Ryu, even if the whole undersea society brands her a criminal for it, and Ryu wants to see her beloved human again, so Jo will make it happen. But that means flopping out of the water and into the horrid world above the waves. A new series called April Showers Brings May Flowers. Pessimistic high school student Hana Tabata doesn't believe her life could ever be like that of a heroine from the shoujo manga she reads. She's convinced she's ugly, and she's always alone. Still, she can't help but imagine herself as a leading lady when she's changing out flowers early one morning, until she's caught in the act by her handsome classmate, Yosuke Ueno. Hana can't wrap her head around his kind words at first, but as they grow closer, she finds her life slowly beginning to change. Aria of the Beach Forest Volume 2. With some help from her newfound friends, shy little Aria's world is growing bigger by the day. From attending a house party to getting lost in the supermarket, her life is full of fresh and exciting experiences. But one day a mysterious visitor comes with an offer that could change everything. Bocce the Rock Volume 5. Kesoku Band is hard at work putting together their first mini-album. To keep their sound fresh, each member of the band is trying their hands at new roles. Faced with the unfamiliar task of arranging their next potential hit, is Hitori Bocce Goto in over her head? Tokyo Babylon Volume 5. Subaru Sumeragi is a powerful onmyoji who solves the supernatural troubles that plague the citizens of Tokyo, both living and deceased. When Subaru meets an old man who shares his affinity for animals, he's delighted to forge a new connection, but he doesn't know about the troubled household and unfulfilled wish haunting his elderly friend. Go 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 Ghost Volume 2. Office worker Ushiro and her ghostly companion Masako are on a mission to get revenge on the man who broke Ishiro's heart, and they're prepared to curse any jerk who gets in their way. Trouble is, their next obstacle isn't a jerk. He'd be a lovely guy if it wasn't for one little problem. He can see ghosts and is dead set on getting Masako exorcised. If the Villainess and Villain Met and Fell in Love Volume 2. Nival's wind Aria has gone berserk, threatening Bridget and all her classmates. Just as her no-name spirit shows signs of awakening, Yuri leaps in to save her from the rampaging spirit. Until now, describing their relationship as confrontational would have been putting it lightly, especially after their rocky introductions. But in the aftermath of the incident, Bridget begins to see Yuri in a different light. She Likes Gays But Not Me Volume 3. After everything that happened, Jun decides to attend the school closing ceremony at Sei's request, and there, microphone in hand, she reveals her secret. In this moving final volume, will Jun come to terms with himself and find the answers he's been looking for? Cherry Blossoms After Winter Volume 1. Despite growing up together, these childhood friends have grown apart. Seo Heibon was 7 years old when his parents died in an accident. With nowhere else to go, he moves in with the family of his childhood friend Jo Taesung, who suddenly grows cold and distant, destroying their friendship. Now it's their senior year of high school, and after years of barely speaking to each other, Heibon and Taesung are in the same class for the first time. Heibon struggles to make friends and is plagued by bullying, but after the handsome and popular Taesung fends off his most persistent bully, everything changes. They sit together at lunch and begin to act like friends again. Heibon is unsure what to make of the shift, but this could be his last chance to mend their relationship. This has been released by Inklaw, and they are the ones who have published Under the Oak Tree. Moving on to the Vis Media releases, we have Volume 11 of After God. Japan has been invaded by gods and they've left nothing but death and destruction in their wake. With entire cities now classified as uninhabitable danger zones, anti-god researcher Sachiyuki Tokinaga is determined to find a way to take down the gods and save humanity. When chance leads him to high schooler Waka Kamikura, the two may just end up changing the fate of the world together. Asadora Volume 8. Using a stage name, Yone auditions for several record companies before seemingly getting her big break from Shibahama Music Factory. But she later learns fame can come with a cost. Meanwhile, Shota becomes obsessed with spotting the sea monster so he can use the drug to fight it again. The previous volume came out in October 2023, so there's been quite a long waiting period for this. Battle Royale Enforcers Volume 2. As night falls, the fight for survival has already begun. Shocked by their extreme situation, the students of Daitoa Academy resign themselves to what they'll have to do to get off the island. Some students want to cooperate, but others fall back on their own merciless killer instincts. Gokurakugai Volume 3. While investigating a string of cannibalistic murders, Alma befriends the shy Kanata, a girl who loves eating dinner with him, but she can't seem to keep her food down. When she disappears, Alma desperately runs through the dusky streets of Gokurakugai to save her, all the while knowing she's a maga, the same as the monsters he has vowed to execute. Hiroyasumi Volume 3. Changes in the air as the clear autumn skies sweep over Tokyo. Hiroto's best friend Hideki adjusts to being a new father, while Yomogi, the bustling real estate agent, helps a lonely writer look for a new apartment. And with the University Arts Festival right around the corner, an unexpected declaration of love may just bring the biggest change of all. Trillion Game Volume 2. This series follows a sweet talker and a programmer who team up with hopes of making $1 trillion. In this one, hoping to get their money-making efforts off the ground, Haru and Gaku enter a hacking competition sponsored by Dragon Bank. Competing against elite teams of professionals, the two implement a risky strategy that could lead to a life-changing payoff if it succeeds. Twin Star Exorcist Volume 32. Sakanashi is public enemy number 1, but to get to him, the Exorcist will first have to defeat Yuzuriha. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 Stone Ocean Volume 7. Weather forecast and Anastasia are at the mercy of Bohemian Ecstatic, a stand with the ability to bring fictional characters in paintings and drawings to life. Meanwhile, Jolene and her group are headed towards the Kennedy Space Station, chasing after Father Pucci, but first she needs to make a quick stop at an old ex-boyfriend's place. Kiki's Delivery Service Film Comic All-in-One Edition. Now that she's 13 years old, it's time for young Kiki to start thinking about her future. One night, under the shine of a full moon, she grabs her black cat Gigi, hops on her mother's broom, and heads off into the night. The next day she arrives at a friendly seaside town, and this, she tells her loyal and furry companion, is where she'll spend the next year learning how to become a real, honest-to-goodness witch. Moving on to the 70s entertainment releases, we have Volume 2 of Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. 17-year-old Oriana mysteriously died along with her boyfriend Vincent, but she returned from death in her 7-year-old body, with her memories intact. Although Vincent doesn't remember her when they meet again, Oriana is determined to protect him in this life and prevent his death. Vincent initially finds her unpleasant, but now he can't take his eyes off her. A new series called Yes, No, or Maybe. Kunieda Kei is the up-and-coming Prince Charming of the evening news, but inside he's anything but princely. He's brash, hot-headed, and prickly as can be. For years he's been able to juggle his private and professional personas, but a run-in with animator Ushio Tsuzuki threatens to bring that all crashing down. Will Kei's mask slip and expose him for who he is, or is there someone who might love and accept both his sides? Another new series called I Ship My Rival and Me. This is a full-colour manhwa adaptation of the Danmei novel. Wei Yanzi and Gu Yiliang burst onto the acting scene together, igniting a rivalry fueled by their shared debut. But while Gu Yiliang dazzles with his acting prowess and idol-worthy looks, Wei Yanzi finds himself in the shadow with only his striking appearance to boast. Amid the barrage of online hate from Gu Yiliang's fervent admirers, Wei Yanzi's patience wears thin. When Wei Yanzi stumbles upon an online community totally convinced there's a romantic entanglement between the two actors, he's initially shocked but soon finds solace in their speculation as he immerses himself in their discussions. Though their relationship is purely professional, Wei Yanzi can't shake the growing sense that maybe the shippers are onto something. As he spends more time with Gu Yiliang, lines blur and Wei Yanzi begins to wonder if there might, after all, be truth behind the fan-fueled fantasies. That sounds quite funny. Gravitation Collector's Edition Volume 3. A battle for the top of the Billboard charts pits Shuichi against his favourite idol, who is now his biggest rival. As the spotlight intensifies and tensions rise, Yuki suddenly leaves for New York. Left behind, will Shuichi move on to someone else? The Lady and Her Butler Volume 2. Suha couldn't ask for a better housekeeper than Teiso. He cooks delicious meals, keeps the apartment spotless, and is a great listener. That's why she's so upset when the cute male student who works at the convenience store starts hanging out with Teisu. If they start dating, what will happen to her clean and happy home? More than that, could she be catching feelings for her dashing roommate? The Second Alpha. This is an Amiga-verse BL manga. When Alpha Morita Soichi prepared for his first day at a brand new job, he never expected to discover his destined mate. After a literal run-in with his co-worker, Matsumoto Takashi, Morita knows instantly that the other man is not only an Amiga, but the person he is meant to be with. There's only one problem: the ring on Matsumoto's finger. Todai Revengers Omnibus Volumes 1 and 2. This is an official parody of Tokyo Revengers, which reimagines the main character as a hopeless university student in love. So, why does Michitake Icho feel like a loser? Well, he's a Todai, Tokyo University, graduate, but he's got nothing to show for it except a part-time job where everyone treats him like dirt. One day he turns on the TV to discover the crush of his life is getting married. After a tragic bike accident, Icho suddenly leaps 7 years back in time to the beginning of his college days. What could go wrong? Wild Roses and Pretenders Volume 1. Desperate to financially support his ailing mother, Noah leaves his hometown to enter into the service of the Reinhardt family. Upon his arrival, his new master, Lord Rupert, demands that Noah pretend to be his lover. Lord Rupert wishes to avoid a political marriage and Noah is determined to keep his job, so the two men work out an arrangement. However, the more time they spend together, the more Noah realises that his forlorn master is beset with loneliness, and Noah wants their love to be real. Can Lord Rupert ever see him as more than just a servant? Otonari Complex Volume 2. Akira sees Makoto as her precious, beloved childhood friend. The one place where she can truly be herself is by his side. But ever since she befriended Fumi-chan, a girl with an unrequited crush on Makoto, a dark cloud has been hanging over Akira that just won't go away. Even if things around them change, their relationship will always stay the same, right? Hate Me But Never Let Me Stay Volume 2. Naoto and Hazuki's relationship may have gotten off to a rocky start, but this Alpha and Omega pair have not only fallen in love and become mates, they've even welcomed a new son. Naoto never thought he could be this happy, but when a figure from his tragic past finds him again and threatens to destroy the new life he's built for himself with Hazuki, Naoto will need to summon the courage to overcome his trauma and defend his family. Seventh Time Loop, the villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy, Volume 6. Riche walks a dangerously thin line as she prepares to make her case for an alliance between two nations. Will her negotiations with Arnold be enough to save Coils from disaster? Meanwhile, her alchemy teacher from a previous life is convinced no good can come from his latest experiment, gunpowder. Determined to keep this destructive power out of the hands of her fiancé, Riche will once again need to get creative and show her friend the non-lethal potential of the explosive poison he's created. Black Knight Parade Volume 5. In this Christmas fantasy, Haruko, Miharu's mother, comes to her son's company for a tour where she meets Rudolph. Teppei suddenly appears and confronts Rudolph, using his Cupid's arrow on Haruko and turning her into his ally. Cue confusion. Moving on to the TokyoPop releases, we have Let's Eat Together Aki and Haru Volume 2. This story follows two boys who share a room and love to make and eat dinner together. Aki is in charge of cooking, and Haru is tasked with cleaning up, and despite their personality differences, they come together over their love of food. This reincarnated countess is trying to escape from her prince, Volume 1. In the middle of a crowded ballroom, the Countess Sherazade is overcome by a flood of memories. Memories of a past life as an ordinary girl in another world, reading a teen love novel about a meek but kind-hearted young woman from an impoverished noble family who catches the prince's eye and then attracts his love. A novel that recounts the story of her own life, or what it will soon become. The only problem is this story ends with Sherazade as a traumatized and broken shell of herself, and there's no way she's going to sit back and let that happen. At that moment, Shera makes a promise to herself to do whatever it takes to make sure she will never, ever marry the prince. Boys Gilding the Lily Shall Die, Volume 2. Chihaya Katagiri has always been the first trumpet in her school's brass band, until Hibiki Aikawa transfers from a prestigious school and takes the spot. Despite initial suspicions, the two quickly become close. Katagiri admires Aikawa's talent and enthusiasm for playing the trumpet, and Aikawa is struck by Katagiri's grounded treatment of her abilities, as well as her love for music. As their feelings for each other grow stronger, their lives become more complicated, with the stress of classes, other relationships, and the last competition of their high school careers drawing near. Lullaby of the Dawn, Volume 5. There have been some very big reveals recently, which I do not want to spoil, but the intrigue is building and I cannot wait for this volume to be released. Just like Mona Lisa Volume 3, Hinase survives a brush with death, and their rapidly changing present leaves more questions in its wake. What are attraction and gender, and why does Hinase feel so uncomfortable with both? Hinase's nostalgia for a simple childhood drives a wedge between them and their best friends, who are growing up without them. A new series from Square Enix, Dragon and Chameleon. Gario Hanagami is a best-selling manga artist praised as a genius of the craft. Shinobu Miyama is a bitter rookie with a knack for copying other people's art styles. When an accident causes the two to switch bodies, Miyama is more than happy to take Hanagami's place, forcing the veteran to rebuild his career from the ground up. Now the dragon must reclaim his throne from the chameleon who replaced him. The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love, Volume 3. Reincarnated villainess Luciana finds herself under the influence of an enchantment spell. Accompanied by her brother SciFier, Luciana attends an exclusive soiree hosted by the Wisterias, a ducal clan and the kingdom's sole wielders of enchantment magic. Although she swore off romance with the game's various love interests in order to avoid certain doom, Luciana seems to have captivated the attention of the kingdom's most eligible bachelors. The three beautiful Wisteria brothers are only too eager to offer to help Luciana in whatever way they can, and jealous Lakas, the son of a duke himself, can't help but question Luciana's connection with Louis. It's all a bit much for the once love-shy Luciana to handle. Final Fantasy XII Remake Material Ultimania Plus. The second Material Ultimania volume created for Final Fantasy XII Remake, this deluxe hardcover book is a must-have for Final Fantasy XII fans and anyone interested in how top-tier video games are made. Packed with art and visual reference materials, Material Ultimania Plus presents a comprehensive collection of assets created during the development of Final Fantasy XII Remake Intergrade, including FF7R episode Intermission, in addition to CG art and illustrations of characters, enemies, locations and more. This volume offers a Q&A interview with director Motomu Toriyama, voice acting scripts, scenario strategies and other planning material, all accompanied by commentary from the development staff. This full-colour jacketed hardcover book offers a wealth of insight into the making of one of the most beloved RPGs of all time. Always a Catch, How I Punched My Way into Marrying a Prince, Volume 1. Maria, the daughter of a duke, grew up believing she would one day inherit her father's dukedom. Accordingly, she focused her attentions on honing her martial arts prowess, while thoughts of marriage fell by the wayside. But the arrival of a baby brother in her family means she's losing her role as heir. Now that she's decided it's time to marry after all, she's arrived a little late to the game. Are there even any eligible bachelors left? Upon going to study abroad in a neighbouring country, where she might still stand a chance at getting hitched. She's bewildered when the Crown Prince there declares before everyone that his engagement to her is null and void. Wait, what engagement? Apparently he's mistaken her for the wrong girl. But once that's all cleared up and he catches sight of her knocking out a whole pack of bandits, it turns out that this prince may have a thing for butt-kicking young ladies after all. There were quite a lot of releases in the second half of November, so this has been quite a long video, so I am sorry about that. But I hope there was something there that has caught your eye and you are really interested in buying. There are quite a few releases coming out that I want to buy, both series I already own and brand new series as well. As always, you can use the code Jay'sManga to get 5% off SciFier's already discounted prices. It really helps, especially with the manhwa releases, because they're full colour, they're usually a bit more expensive, so it's nice to get that extra bit of money taken off. I'll put a couple of links down below to some websites that have sales on. You never know what you're going to find in a sale, so it's worth having a quick browse. But I hope you have a lovely manga buying month, everyone. Bye!